If we think back, there was once a time when we all learned to draw. Now, some of us were better at it than others. I was not one of those gifted individuals. But imagine trying to draw a picture of something you had never seen. Seems a little ridiculous, right? It's a little weird. Eric, why would you do that? But the fact is that people try to draw a picture of God, and they have no idea what he looks like. Today, I've been asked to explain the meaning and significance of the image of God. And first, I'd like to define what image means and what the image of God is. Second, I'd like to explain what the image of God is, because a definition isn't all you need. So I'd like to explain what that is, and then finally, we'll discuss and look carefully at why the image of God is so significant. So first, starting with the definition, my favorite dictionary, Webster's 1828, defines image as a representation or similitude of any person or thing. Now, God is omnipresent. That means he is everywhere all the time. But that also means that God isn't physical. I'm here, I can't be here and at the back of the room at the same time. But God is omnipresent. He is everywhere. So if that's the case, what does God look like? And the fact is, we cannot see him. But if we can't see him, then what do we represent? Then we represent the image of God, which is his moral attributes. So what are these attributes? Well, first, we have morals. Animals don't have morals. I have the ability to do right and wrong. Animals react on instinct. Humans have an inner conscience. Thanks to Adam and Eve in the garden, we now all have the knowledge of good and evil. That's one of them. Mental attributes. I was walking through the park the other day and saw a couple of dogs. They were sitting there. They were discussing theology, I think, if I understood the barking correctly. No, no, animals don't think like that. Humans have mental abilities to think, and that's why God created us. Spiritual attributes. We all have souls. We all have souls. We have immortality. Whether it's in heaven or in hell, we all have immortality. And we can have direct communion with God. But here's the problem. The fall of man, I mentioned Adam and Eve earlier, the fall of man has distorted that image. But we are still created in the image of God. However, through the fall of man, our moral purity was lost. A sinful character crept in, and our human intellect was corrupted. And because of this corruption, we can no longer completely and accurately portray God's image to those around us. However, that does not mean we shouldn't try. Why is this significant? Why is the fact that we're supposed to represent God so significant? Why should we care? And the fact is, we are image bearers of God, image bearers of the Creator of the universe. That should change everything. It should change how we live, how we act, and how we think. We are here to communicate part of God's character and his blessing to those around us. This means being kind and courteous to those who are around us, even though we may not want to, and also being very careful about everything that we say and do. Now, I do not know why God chose us. I have no idea. But what I do know is that the Bible tells us that he did create us and that we are his chosen people. So I started with the story about people learning to draw. And all too often we see people trying to portray who God is, but they don't know what he looks like. We find God's attributes in the Bible. If you're living your life and you don't think you've got it right, turn to the Bible. The answers are there. But the key component is your heart. Do you or do you not have a relationship with the Creator of the universe? That's where this all starts. You cannot be an image bearer of God unless you know who he is, unless you have a personal relationship with him. And it's not as hard as one might think. Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. That is why that image has been marred. But then the Bible goes on to say that Jesus forgives our sins. He's there for each and every one of us. So if you want to accurately portray the image of God, accept him first into your heart. If you've already done that, fantastic. That's where it starts. If you haven't, I would encourage you to do so. From there, we need to study what those moral attributes are, how we can use those for God's kingdom, and in the end, make sure we are pursuing to be portrayers of who God actually is. Thank you.